Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to be connecting our student grading system project with MySQL database. In the previous version of this project, we were using array lists. So now we are going to be using the database and we're going to use MySQL database. So I am using the MySQL workbench. So I'm going to show you briefly how I created the tables using the workbench. Okay, so now this is the MySQL workbench and we have the database student grading system here. So these are all the tables: attendance, course, department, grade, and student. So starting with the student table, these were the values. This was exactly how I created the table. So student ID was an integer, student number was a varchar, student name, STD, surname, gender, nationality, and the birthday. Heading over to the grade table, student ID and course ID are foreign keys here because they are in red, and we have all the different fields. We have the department table, primary key, not null, and we have the course table like this, and we have the attendance table as well. So this was how I created my tables in MySQL workbench. Okay, so heading over to NetBeans one more time, we're going to look over at the different screens we had. So this was the menu screen, and on this menu screen we have the link to all the different pages that we have in the project. So we have the student management. So here is an update button was added by myself, and the source is gonna be different because we have now MySQL things here. So we have some variables for the connection, for the statement, and for the result set. So we have a display student. So it's like it refreshes, that it's just going to refresh the table. So each time we want to refresh, we just get new students. So it's going to get the connection, and this is the database name here. This is the username, and this is the password, and this is our query. Select everything from the student table, and it's going to put it on the student table that we created. So this is the table on the design. This is the table, so it's going to put it in the table whatever we have in the result set. So now this is the delete button. So this is going to be our delete method from the database. We're going to have the connection first, and we are going to collect the ID, the student ID that we want to delete, and then we're going to delete from the students where the student ID is going to be equal to that ID, and we are going to the student, we're going to add we're going to create the connection statement, and then we are going to execute the query. So we're going to execute that statement, delete from students where that is that, and then it's deleted, and we are going to display them. We are going to refresh the table, so that's going to be up to date, and we're going to reset all the fields as well. This is going to be the save button. We are firstly checking if all the input fields are empty or not. Then if they are empty, we will tell the user you have to fill all the fields before saving. Then the next thing we are doing is we are going to put it in a try catch block, and here we are going to have our connection. First and foremost, we are going to have a prepared statement that says insert into student values. We are going to have the different placeholders here for the different values. So we are going to have up to 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 placeholders here for 7 values that we are expecting. So we are going to add the student ID. We are going to get the text from the input field. We're going to have the student number, student name, the surname as well, and we are going to get the gender because we are using radio buttons. So there's a simple check here. If the female radio is selected, set the student gender to F, and if it's not, then set it to M for male, and that is that we are saving that value, student gender. Okay, and we are converting, before saving that, we are converting it to a string because it's going to be a character. Then we are doing the nationality as well, getting it from the input field, and for the date, it's a simple date conversion thingy. So we are going to collect the date from the date picker, and we're going to get date, and we're going to do toString, and we are going to trim it, and it's going to be stored here, and we're going to collect this and store in the database as well. And once all that is done executing, we are going to display student added successfully, else we're going to show an error code. This is the reset method that resets all the text fields for us, and we have, when we click on the table, what happens. So it's going to set all of these different things to the different text field inputs that we have. So student ID is going to be there, student number is going to collect this value, student name is going to collect this value, and so on and so forth. And we have, when you click on the new button, it's just going to reset all the fields. Then we have an update. So when you click on the update, we firstly check if the fields are empty. If it's empty, error message. Try catch block. We are going to have the connection as usual. We are going to be able to collect all the values, but we are going to have a different query. So we're going to update the student, and we're going to set these different values for the student. So here, that is it. And after it's done, student updated successfully. Else we just say an error occurred basically. Then we have I think that's it basically. We've seen the different methods, the new, save, delete, and update. Now we head over to the course management. It's going to be pretty much the same concept. We have connection. This is going to be for the display courses, like to refresh the course table. And this one is going to be the delete. It's the same concept, copy, paste, edit, nothing strange. We have the reset method as well. The new button method is just the same as the reset. We have the save button that is going to add new courses into the database. The same concept. You have when you click on the course table, it's just going to set the input fields with these different values from the database. And we have the update button. When you click on the update, it's going to just, the update queries here, update course, set the course ID to this and that and that and that. And now we have grades management, the same thing. We need to do the display grades, that's the refreshing the grade table. We have the deleting of the grades, we have the adding of grades, we have the updating of grades, and all things like that. Then we have department management. Department management, we have the delete button, we have the add grade, we have the update grade. And then for attendance management, we have the same concept, display attendances, that's refreshing the table. We have deleting the attendance, we have the saving attendance, we have updating, and that's that. So now we are going to have a test run to see if the database works as expected. So I'm going to run the project. And let's see what we have. So we have this part. This is the menu. I can quickly click here to take me to the student management page. While I'm on the student management, this is some of the data we have in the database already. I can load that right away for you to have a quick look. So this is the demo data we have already in the database. I added this a while ago, so we have this already in our database. So let's head over back to NetBeans. Now I can add a new student. So I have ID 3, I can do ID 4, I can give him a new student number, and let's say she's gonna be called what can her name be? Emily. She's gonna be called Emily Brooks. And she's gonna be Canadian. She's Canadian, she's a female. When's her birthday? Let's give her a December birthday though. She's gonna be born, let's say 1999, 12th of May. And I'm gonna save. Student added successfully. We have Emily Brooks here. And if I come over to my database and I refresh this database, here I have Emily Brooks here. This is Emily Brooks record. So that works successfully. Everything is okay. Let's say Emily Brooks wasn't born on, so let's say I want to edit her birthday. I can do that as well. Let's say she was born in the year 2000, and on the same 12th of May, I can, to show that the update works basically. So then updated successfully, and it's updated 2000. That is okay. Let's say I want to get rid of Emily Brooks. Basically, I just delete and Emily is gone. So I go back to the menu. I go to the course management. In course management, we have different courses. for the departments. Let's check departments first. So department management, we have two departments, ID1 and ID2. ID1 is for technology and ID2 is for business. Let's say I want to create a new department, ID3, and I want to say this is going to be for medicine. So if I save this, we have a new department for medicine here, and everything works. If I do update works as well. If I do delete works for departments, but I want to just do a new one for medicine. Let it be there. So medicine, I'm gonna save and let it be. So I'm gonna go back to courses. So let's say I want to add a new course in the IT department. So the course ID is gonna be 4, department ID, remember IT department is 1. Let's have a course code. Let's say iTech 316, and I'm very much sure it is the course code for software engineering like this, and I'm gonna save. Course added successfully. So we have software engineering added here. I can update it if I want to, and I can delete if I want to, but I'm not gonna delete it. But let's delete to test it. Delete works, so that works. So I'm just gonna add it again. Let me click here. Just gonna go for 316. I'm gonna put the name as well, software engineering. Okay, I'm gonna save that back. Now we have that is working. We can go over now to the grades management. In grades management, I'm going to say, okay, we have grade ID 2. Now for what course? We had it, the last course was 4, that was the software engineering course, and his homework grade, let's say he had 70 on 100. The student ID is going to be for student 3, and midterm grade was like a 70 as well, and the final grade was like a 60, and we're going to give him a B minus. Let's be fair, basically. I'm going to save this, so the grade has been added successfully. So we have student 3 with the course 4, that is the software engineering course. He had this grade in the midterm, in his homework, in his final, and this is his letter grade. So that works perfectly well. Let's say he made a mistake and in the final he scored an 80, and we have to give him an A, and we update the record, and that is that. It works perfectly well. So the delete works as well. Let's go to the attendance. Let's say we have attendance ID 3 now for student number 3. The course for the software engineering course, let's give him an attendance for today, the 19th of May. I'm going to save that. His attendance was added successfully, and that is that. I can delete this attendance if I want to. I can update it. Okay, so there was an error with the update, but that is no problem. It's about the time. But now let's say I want to delete this update here. I click on this delete here. You know what, let's work on this. This wasn't an error, basically it's just the time. If I do update now, you see it's updated, so that's not an issue. It's just the time format that was wrong, basically. So I can delete this as well, and I click on delete, and it works. So we have all these working successfully for our student grading system. Our database works as expected, and everything is fine. So I can just exit the system from here, and we are done. So the student grading system MySQL part works perfectly well. Thank you.